The man who was trapped for 49 days after plane crash until this happened. Miracles do happen, and if you believe contrary to this, then this video will surely change your belief. Well, buckle up, as in today's video we are going to unveil one of the amazing miracles that just saved some human lives. Helen Klaben, 20, left Brooklyn in the summer of 1962 in search of excitement and traveled to Alaska with a lady she met via a newspaper ad. She was ready to leave Fairbanks in a few months, possibly to go to Hong Kong or India. But first, she needed to go to San Francisco, her gateway to Asia. So she flew from Fairbanks to Whitehorse, the Yukon Territory's capital, in early 1963 in a single-engine plane flown by Ralph Flores, a California aviation technician who shared the expenditures with her. They moved out on the following stage, to Fort St. John, British Columbia, amid still dangerous weather. Mr. Flores attempted to establish his bearings by flying above the clouds for hours amid blinding snow and strong gusts. He wanted to reach Fort St. John by following landmarks or the course of the Alaska Highway. Mr. Flores, however, was a novice pilot who did not know how to fly using just the aircraft's instruments, a crucial skill in bad weather, and did not pack enough food or basic survival gear, such as an axe, sleeping bags, or a gun. I knew he didn't know where he was, and he wouldn't admit we were lost, but I knew we were, Ms. Klaben later told the Saturday Evening Post in an interview. We were flying above a mountain, and I saw trees just below us. I had a feeling we were going to crash. The aircraft crashed on a wooded, isolated slope near the Yukon British Columbia boundary. They not only miraculously survived the crash, with Ms. Klaben suffering a broken left arm and Mr. Flores breaking his jaw and several ribs, but they also endured 49 days of sub-zero temperatures. Some of it huddled inside the plane's wreckage. Some of it in a lean-to Mr. Flores built before being rescued. Ms. Klaben, who shortly after penned a book about her story, Hey, I'm Alive, which was adapted into a television movie, died on December 2nd at her home in Palo Alto, California, when she was 76. Ms. Klaben was born in Brooklyn on December 18, 1941. Her father, a customs agent, abandoned the family when Helen was a kid, and her mother, Ida Khan, was a housewife who leased out half their house in the Bensonhurst district to make ends meet. Her 4 elder brothers also contributed to the family's financial stability. Helen was courageous and self-reliant as a youngster, a stickball player with dreams of seeing the globe. Her first opportunity, however, did not arrive until she traveled to Alaska. She worked as a draftswoman for the Bureau of Land Management in Fairbanks and attended mining studies at the University of Alaska. When she met Mr. Flores, he advised her in the Saturday Evening Post, "If you don't trust me, don't go with me." She trusted him, oblivious to the fact that he had not been qualified to fly across perilous terrain in the Yukon winter. Ms. Klaben and Mr. Flores collided in snow up to their waists, with temperatures as low as 48 degrees below zero. He wrapped Ms. Klaben's damaged foot in her sweaters, covered the cabin's entrances with tarpaulins, and unsuccessfully attempted to repair their radio to send out a distress signal and create rabbit traps. What little food Ms. Klaben and Mr. Flores had carried on board, and a few cans of sardines, tuna fish, fruit salad, and a box of saltine crackers was rationed and depleted within 10 days. They drank water, part of it filtered through shreds of one of her gowns, and cooked in an empty oil can. They passed the time by reading books, including a collection of poetry by Robert Service and a Bible Mr. Flores attempted to convert Ms. Klaben from Judaism to Mormonism at times. A few days later, he left her and located a frozen pond on which he engraved a big SOS sign with an arrow pointing to their encampment, thinking it would be visible from the air. On March 24th, a pilot flying supplies to a neighboring trapper's lodge saw the SOS and shortly observed Ms. Klaben at the campground and Mr. Flores flailing his arms and signaling with a mirror. They were rescued individually. Ms. Klaben was carried 3 miles to safety the following day on the shoulders of Charles Hamilton, the pilot who had seen her. When she arrived in New York City less than a week after being rescued, the toes on her frostbitten right foot had been removed. She quickly started writing her book, and shortly after its release, she related her experience on an edition of the game show To Tell the Truth. Well, that's all for today. Consider subscribing to the channel in case you have enjoyed the video.